This episode of Joyride is being brought to you by Highbank. Highbank is a proud Columbus-based distillery. Look for Highbank spirits at your local liquor store and favorite bars around the city. By purchasing Highbank spirits, you're supporting and drinking local. Drink local, drink Highbank.
You're listening to Joyride, a podcast for people who love cars. Now sit back and enjoy the ride.
Welcome everybody to Joyride. I'm half of this motoring podcast. My name is Rob.
Hey guys, it's Pete. I'm back.
We're both back.
Both of us together.
Yes.
Feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to another episode. This episode, did we come up with a title or a theme? I don't know that we did.
No, not really.
Okay.
No.
Do we ever? Not so much.
Sometimes.
Sometimes there's themes that emerge,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll find out the theme after this one's over. What's going on with you, man?
Not a lot, just dealing with COVID like everybody else.
Yeah.
Working from home and all that kind of good stuff.
I love the work from home.
Yeah. One of the things that's tough is it's easy to find doom and gloom stories out there. It's easy to find companies are doing bad and these people are losing their jobs.
Right.
So I found a nice little ray of sunshine news article here.
Okay.
Brought to us by driving.ca. It's about a guy who lives up in Canada. He was born blind.
Okay.
And after 44 years of being basically blind, he has this condition called, and forgive my pronunciation of this, nystagmus. Nystagmus. And basically it's like his eyes are always kind of uncontrollably moving and everything's blurry. Like he can't focus, so he's essentially blind. He went through an experimental treatment and was cured. And
you're kidding. Like completely cured.
Completely cured because he could never own a car, right? Yeah. So he went out immediately and bought himself a dream car. Take a stab at at what it would be. Now, remember, he's Canadian.
Yeah. I don't know, something French? No. I don't know. What did he get?
He went out and got himself a bright yellow C7 Corvette.
Oh. Nice work. Dude.
Yeah. So he went and bought the car before he even had his license because he knew, because he hadn't driven at all, So he knew that was the car he wanted.
Man.
Somehow he was familiar enough with Corvette as a brand.
Can you imagine dreaming of a car you've never seen?
Right.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Boy, that's something. Woo.
Holy
there's passion and then there's that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So never being able to drive, because of his eye condition, got cured, went out, bought Corvette, and then learned how to drive.
That's fantastic.
In that order. So
how long ago was this?
Let me see here. So this article is only a few days old.
Okay. Good for him, man.
Yeah. Guy's name is Mike Shikarowski. So
there you go.
Props to you, sir. Congratulations on being able to see.
Yeah,
Number one.
That's awesome.
I can't even imagine what that would be like.
Changes everything.
But congrats on your new car. That's great.
Wow. Good find on the story there, Rob. That's pretty incredible. I mean, I thought I cared about cars, but I mean, not being able to see how old did you say he was?
44.
44 years.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he's had this condition his whole life. And just wanting to drive. That's pretty cool.
I couldn't imagine learning how to drive in a C7 Corvette, though. You know what I mean? Low to the ground, two-seat sports car, tons of horsepower, tons of torque.
There's not much to know when it's time to mash a pedal, man. You just put your foot down. Hang on.
Yeah.
What would be your car? How would you even approach that?
It would be curious to talk to him and find out what his exposure to Corvette was and why he knew immediately that's what I want to go get.
Yeah. I wonder if sound had anything to do with it.
Oh,
right?
100% sound had to have something to do
You
with
would
it.
think,
Yeah.
When as a podcast, I'm, if it's close to my heart, right? We're in your ear. I wonder. It's like just you think about the exhaust note that you prefer or that you like or that catches your attention, right? And that makes you turn your head no matter where you're walking, and amplify that. I would imagine by some multiple because you're relying on that sense double time.
Right.
That'd be cool to talk to him.
Yeah, I think a Corvette is definitely a strong pick because what I love about Corvettes is they're sort of this weird mashup of different kinds of cars. They're like this sleek sports car thing. They're unabashedly American.
Yeah.
And then they sound like muscle cars.
Yeah.
So they look like an exotic sports car, but they sound like a muscle car.
I never thought about it like that, but you're absolutely right. I mean, you get this throw, especially if you
throw some pipes on it.
Yeah. And you're right. It has a sound that doesn't fit the look. It has a look that's, doesn't fit the sound, and you unapologetically American. I mean, up until the C8.
Right. And I've actually heard that as some people are having that sort of as a complaint about the C8 is that it looks like it is a mid-engine supercar. No traditional manual transmission, so it's only flappy paddle. The engine itself still feels like the C7, and it still sounds that way. It doesn't rev out to 9,000 RPM or anything crazy like that, and it doesn't sound like your typical mid-engined, V10 or V12 or whatever, like you would get in a Ferrari or a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
And so some people are like, it's this weird, it's like kind of like an identity crisis.
There's
thing
a place for it,
Yeah, but that's all going to change when the new, the Z50, like the actual, like,
exactly.
Next trims up, come out.
You know what I wanted to ask you, and I've been waiting to do it here. The GT350 engine, right?
Yeah,
you're familiar with it. We've talked about it before. What do you think that costs? Like just to buy it from Ford, like
just to buy it like a crate engine?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, if you get the whole car for $70, like how much is the engine?
Is just the engine?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, do you know the number?
I don't know the number.
Okay.
I couldn't find it, but I was thinking about like how that sounds and how beautiful that engine is. And then yesterday or the day before, I was driving and I saw, do you remember like the retro T-Bird that they brought back for a couple of years?
Yeah,
two-door?
my friend's mom bought one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I thought, how interesting would it be? Because this thing was mint. And most of them that I seen are pretty roachy. I mean, they really weren't.
How many years did they make those things for?
Maybe 4 or 5 tops.
Yeah.
And they were completely underpowered. They were low compression V6s, mostly automatics, if not all automatics. It just had no performance value whatsoever from what I remember. But I thought, man, would it be cool to put that Voodoo engine in that 2-door like retro? I wonder what that would feel like. But,
and it would sound amazing. It would complete that as a look. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people go after that sort of retro vibe and buying old cars.
Yeah,
it'd be an interesting,
have like a true hot rod feel to it.
Yeah.
Something that would move. I mean, the car's got to be light.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe not.
I seem to remember it being, well, no, I guess it wasn't quite like a full size because it was it a 2-door car?
It was a 2-door,
right? Yeah. I can't remember the last time I saw one of those.
Could you imagine? I know. And when you see them, they're kind of like dinged up, scratched, beat up a little bit. Could you imagine having that kind of horsepower in that thing?
Oh my
and
gosh.
that sound?
Yeah.
That'd be sweet.
I think that engine sound great in any car.
Yeah,
you could drop
true.
that.
In a Honda?
Drop that engine in my Honda Odyssey.
That'd be cool.
Could you imagine driving a van with that kind of power and that kind of sound in it? It'd be great.
I think that would be the most obnoxious minivan I've ever seen.
I don't know how loud it would really be because of the length of the pipe, like
that's
true.
Unless
you ran side pipes out.
Just cut holes in the fenders.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I kind of took us away from the story, but the sound of the engine is what kind of got me on that vibe. But cool. What else you been doing this week? Anything fun? Yeah.
So the other thing I was reading, we've talked a lot about the Bronco and everything like that, and I wanted to get your take.
I love opinions, especially mine.
Yes. So A new Ford truck was spy shot this week.
Oh.
And it's the 2021 Ford F-150 Raptor.
Okay.
Would you buy the Ford F-150 Raptor,
Mm-hmm.
the four-door, or would you buy the four-door Bronco Raptor? We don't know what the specs of the Bronco Raptor are. We know it's going to be coming eventually.
Yeah.
My guess it's four-door.
Okay.
Which of those two body styles do you go for with the Raptor?
Well, I haven't seen the spy shot,
Yeah.
but I assume it's difficult to discern just given the way that
It looks like a normal Ford. The only thing, I mean, they can tell that there's a coil spring set up in the rear of the car instead of the leaf spring that the Fords currently have.
I would say, as much as I like the Bronco, I'd go with the F-150.
You'd go with the F-150.
Yeah. It's just better. I mean, one, it's more capable.
Mm-hmm.
Two, it's bigger, so it fits what I need a lot more. And I've always wanted a Raptor. I mean, it's one of the only production cars I think that like you can't even get an employee discount on through Ford. Like it's one of the models that's excluded, but there's only maybe 2 or 3 models total that you can't get.
It's probably like that, the GT,
and then I think some of the Mustang, like
the GT500.
Yeah.
They're hoping that the GT500 engine is what's powering the Raptor.
Remember back in the I guess what it had been early 2000s, late 90s, the push with like just hot rod trucks. But they weren't the trucks that we have today. They were single cab, 8-foot beds. But Ford Lightning was around. Dodge had one. So did Chevy. I remember back then thinking like, okay, that's a little weird. And now I'm mad at myself because I'd absolutely do it. Like, of course you want that. Why wouldn't you want that?
Yeah.
But I just saw an old Ford Lightning, like a beautiful, somebody's taken care of it over the last 20, 30 years, but I was like, yeah, I want one of those. You go Bronco or you go truck?
I'd probably go truck too, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And for all the same reasons that you just said. The only thing that we don't know is visually what are the difference. Yeah. What are they going to be different from the
I'm a
normal
huge
truck?
fan of understated, overpowered. Like, give me something stupid under the hood and make it look like a regular Suburban.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody to know. Like I love debadging cars. I love the whole thing. I just total sneak attack.
Yeah. Yeah, I could go either way. I love the idea of a sleeper.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a really, really cool thing, but I also like insane styling too. So I'm torn.
You like the pomp
I could have
and
one
circumstance. Yeah, you could. Yeah, right. I think I'd go the truck. I'd have to go the truck. In fact, I would love to have a Ford Raptor. Truth be told. Don't know that it's useful in anything other than...
It's useful if you don't have a truck.
Well, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean...
Would you trade in?
Is it more useful than just a Ford F-150? Marginally speaking, no.
But would you trade your current truck if you could just swap out for a Raptor?
So that's
there's a Raptor parked out in the parking lot right now.
Yeah.
And you could hop into either one.
Yeah.
It would have to be a slightly older one than your truck is, though.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's...
I think if I bought a high-performance truck, Ford Raptor, whatever it is, I probably would be more stressed out in how to use it. Like, I throw a lot of stuff in the back of my truck. I use it like a truck quite a bit. If you pay $75,000 for a truck, like, it's kind of hitting a threshold for me. It's like, I don't know if I want to throw goats in the back of it, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, and I wonder if that's why, kind of going back to your T-Bird thing, I wonder if that's why a lot of those are dinged up and crappy when you see them, is I wonder if the engine wasn't special enough for people to want to take care of them.
To take care of them and save them, yeah. Mm-hmm.
They were just cars that people bought and beat up on. And
yeah. The first round of ownership was all nostalgia and paid the big bucks. The second round was like, oh, it's cool, it's neat. And by the third resale of that car, because there was nothing that special about it from an engine perspective, I truly believe that contributed to just the junkiness of what's out there and available right now. I got something neat that I was looking at the other day. So a friend of mine, he runs Columbus Cars and Coffee, among other things.
Okay.
And one of his relationships through that relationship is this thing called the Motor Enclave out of New Albany. Have you heard about this?
I have not.
Okay.
No.
So there's this developer who was an attorney, I think.
Okay.
His name's Brad. He probably still is an attorney. I don't know that he ever got disbarred or anything. That's not what I mean. I just don't know how much he practices. Yeah, I don't know how much he practices. I think he probably still carries his licensure. But he's an entrepreneur of sorts. He's been around cars, and he was involved in this thing, this real estate development, initially out of Michigan, I think, Pontiac, Michigan. The place is called M1 Concourse.
Okay.
And what they did is they built this private luxury condominium complex with a professional road and off-road track.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And the condos aren't like 2 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. They are garages
Okay.
for your cars. And I'm like, wait a minute. So it sounded so bizarre and so foreign to me when I first heard about it. The more I got into it, the more I was like, there's something there. So he was part of that. I think he exited that investment, and he's a developer, and he's right now, I mean, on the verge, on the cusp. Like if you Google it right now, like I don't know if there's one that exists yet, if one opened, but he's got one in Tampa, Tennessee, and New Albany, and there's a bunch of future cities. He is building out these condo garages for high net worth individuals to store their cars, and you can build them any way you want. They're literally built as a white space. So I think about like the designer friends we know and have and have separately and together, and thinking about like studios, like where you go and you rent your studio, and then one friend, the way they design it is totally different than the other friend, and the galleries on this stuff is just amazing. So you've got car lifts, but not like a car lift like I could buy or you could buy, but like super awesome lifts and cables, and you get to do it any way you want. So I don't know what they cost at the Motor Enclave. The one in New Albany is selling spaces now and hopes to open in October. Okay. I don't know if the one in New Albany will have a track. So not all of them do, but there's a 2,500 square foot like shared club space. Mm-hmm. And then I think part of that space is event space, so you can hold events there. They obviously do like Cars and Coffee and other stuff, but you could, I would imagine, have private events, much like people have wedding venues and stuff like that. And then each of your garages is fully equipped with plumbing and electric and everything. So you have bathrooms. I've seen ones with small kitchens, full kitchens. They range in size from like 750 square feet to 2,500 square feet, I think. I was doing some research on the M1 concourse that he was a part of, and they have some spaces available. Cheapest one was like $165,000. $165,000.
Oh my gosh.
And then you got to put money into it to make it. I mean,
it's just,
when you're talking that this type of clientele, like not a big deal, but it's incredible to see like, here's your blank canvas. Yeah. And then you want to put $1 million into it? I don't know. What I mean, faux brick, real brick, marble from Italy. I don't know what you do, like you technically do whatever you want. Yeah. And then you're parking your McLarens and your Ferraris and I mean, whatever.
Right. Yeah. It's how much you can fit into the one spot. Yeah. And then you're right next to a track. That's a really interesting idea. I've seen, I remember seeing ads for a business where it was kind of like that. It was a hotel that had a track next to it, and you basically, and the rooms were not like Red Roof Inn rooms. Like these were like nicely appointed, nicely decorated rooms. Part of your stay is track day, and they have like a whole assortment of just amazing cars that you can go and drive, supercars and all that.
This guy's bringing it to you in the sense like he's identified Columbus as a market, as a car market, and as niche as it is, like it got to be big enough to support, what he's doing.
It's that, and it's also cheap to fly here too. So like if you're thinking,
I think it's more local.
Oh, you think it's a local thing?
Yeah, because he's putting them in all these places: Tampa, Tennessee, Atlanta, right? Like this is a place for the local car community to come together, because this is where I like started to really gravitate towards the idea, money aside, because I'm not of this world. I loved the idea, the more I got into it, of bringing the car community together, like-minded people together. It's kind of tongue in cheek because like-minded people at, $165,000 a pop plus, supercars.
Plus decorating it.
Yeah. I mean, but that aside, it's like it brings the car community to one spot. Whereas like you have a car, it's in your garage. I have a car, it's in my garage. There's another cool car in that guy's garage. And then that guy is renting space 20 minutes from his house,
right,
in somebody else's garage, right? And we all have to find our cars and get to them and then meet up somewhere, go for a drive. But everybody comes to this one place. Everybody's cars are there. I thought that was kind of cool. This place in New Albany, I guess, is supposed to be like 17 acres.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big complex, over 160 garages, they said. And I don't know, they're advertising vertical square feet. I don't know what I mean, I guess you could stack cars is what they mean. So when they say like 15,000 square feet, I don't know if it's 7 and 7 or if it's some combination.
Yeah. There's probably set up so they're stacking levels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so like 8 garages on one level and then right above it is another 8.
That could be too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I mean, you're talking elevators,
elevators,
lifts,
ramps. Yeah. All that kind of stuff.
It'd be cool to like, I don't know that, cause these are all private. I mean, it'd be like going to somebody's house and knocking on their door. You can't just go in and see.
Right.
But it'd be interesting, like, to get in that network and be a part of that community and see like what all these different people do. But it's like total personality. Like you could have, you're wrenching on cars in your garage, or you could have Italian marble across all the floors, right? With imported whatever. It's pretty crazy. I think they're selling them now. I think the project. Well, I don't know. I think they're selling them starting in September. I think the facility opens in October is the plan.
And you could probably buy one if you know the right people at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know that they're sold out, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to get it up off the ground. In fact, the 3 that he's doing, I don't know that any of them are open. I think Tampa has a track, which is cool, but I guess property's cheap in Florida. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like it's got a 1.5 mile track.
Okay.
And everything that goes along with it or that you'd want with it. Tennessee, I don't believe is open. And like I said, the one in New Albany here is probably 2 months away, 60 days away. But he is looking to raise money. You want to invest? He's raising, and this is off his website, so it's not from me. It's not investment advice in any way. But he's looking to raise a fund that's like $33 million with a minimum investment of $1 million. So,
oh, geez.
So if you got an extra $1 laying around,
I'll have to check. I've got a checking and a savings, and all my money's in the savings.
Just have to move some things.
Have to move some stuff around, and then rob a couple of banks.
Oh, don't say that. Yeah, it's really cool. It's cool. Because I like the idea, it's a little, it's not super inclusive, right? Like,
yeah,
you're talking about people that have McLarens and Ferraris,
and probably more than one.
Oh, of course. You should see the pictures.
You know what I mean?
There's this thing called Lifestyle Gallery. So it's the MotorEnclave.com for anybody that wants to check it out. And they're like every teenage boy's dream. I mean, you got couches, full bar. I mean, like you can set this thing up any way you want. Like there's this one that looks like an old Buick and GMC dealership, and then there's another one that's like total high end, Soho loft type of thing. I mean, it's pretty incredible.
They've built an apartment into this thing, and so it's like the garage is on the first level, and then above it, it's got a full kitchen. It's got several, like a TV, couches. I mean, it looks beautiful.
There's 2 car lifts. I mean, it looks like there's the blue neon lights. There's old like dealership signage.
Yeah. Bathroom, shower. I mean,
TVs.
It's cool because because it's by a track. You could be an out of towner and own the place and fly in and this is your weekend getaway place that you go to. Hell, you could probably live there if you wanted to, depending on how you set it up. You know what I mean?
If you're single. There's a bathroom picture. The sink is all car parts, right? So the nozzle is like a gas, but the base of the vanity is not a traditional cabinet box. It's a Dodge Viper engine. I mean, it's just wild. Like your imagination is the limit on what you want to do. They sell you this white space and you build it any way you want.
Wow, these are incredible.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I'm working on just getting one car that I can be, like super proud of and that starts every time.
Right. And then let alone building a house for that one car. Because that's essentially what these are.
Oh, yeah.
This is a home for your car to hang out and live in.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. So, shout out to Columbus Cars and Coffee and Paul and his relationships that he's worked really hard over the last decade to do through starting Cars and Coffee, Trucks and Coffee. He's got a design firm. He's got some real estate investments. I mean, he's plugged into a lot of people, and this is one of those relationships that have come to him. And I'm looking forward to meeting some of the people that buy these things.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool to hang out there for a weekend.
Well, and I like the idea, I mean, to your point earlier of it's an exclusive thing. And while I'm never going to have a car that lives at a place like that, I do enjoy the fact that it's happening in my city.
Yeah, right.
So people coming together, loving on cars. What's there not to like? You know what I mean? And if it's an event space, they might host Cars and Coffee there eventually.
Well, they definitely will. What I thought would be cool is if they did like a Parade of Homes version of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A couple of them get opened up to people. I mean, because people with cars want to show their car. I mean, they're not, it's not like some people are super private and don't want anybody to know anything about anything. But, the reason we all go to Cars and Coffees is to look at other people's cars and have other people look at ours. Right. I mean, like, that's part of the culture. So hopefully there's some sort of public events that draw people in and that, you get to tour some of these places.
Yeah, 100%. Because then it entices.
Do you think this will be like a traditional condo setup where, like, if you and I wanted to get a vacation property together, like we go in halves on it, like buy a garage and like share the garage?
Why wouldn't? Yeah, I would assume so.
I think so.
The money's money, So
yeah, I mean, so I don't want to say it becomes affordable or attainable, but it's certainly a step closer. Having a legal partnership, right? Like you would for a rental property or something, and
car garage on the bottom, podcast studio up top.
Well, I was gonna say I should have started the whole thing with I found our new headquarters because I was like working on my tag on the drive over here, and damn it, I missed my opportunity. But yeah, this is awesome. I mean, we could work out of the Enclave.
Yeah,
the Motor Enclave. I should say Motor Enclave. Yeah, podcast upstairs, sweet cars downstairs.
Yeah, that sounds pretty perfect.
It does, right? So when we start videoing this, right, and we do like YouTube, maybe we'll just get some of our fellow friends in garages next door to drive their cars over so we can look at it and talk about.
Yeah.
Because if we go in on this, I'll have no money for any car ever.
That's another episode of the Joyride podcast.
Thanks for listening. Please don't forget to send us your comments and questions, and we'll address them on the air if we think they're good. No, we'll address them. Just send them. Send them.
Yeah, reach out.
How do they reach out, Rob?
You can reach out in a couple of ways. The easiest way is probably just sending an email to contactjoyridepod@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
You can also hit up our website, joyridepod.com, and there's a contact form on there, and just fill it out and send it in, and it'll...
There's also merch on that website.
There's merch. You can listen to other episodes of the show if you want. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff on
Fantastic.
That website, so... check it out. Also, special thanks to our episode sponsor, High Bank Distillery.
Excellent. Yeah, thank you very much. Make sure you check them out. Drink responsibly. Don't forget about Instagram, right, Rob?
Instagram, yes.
Yeah. What's our handle there?
Follow us, Joyride Pod.
Joyride Pod.
On Instagram.
Okay. All right, guys. Until another time. Enjoy the ride.
Scrap some things together and so that they can I just spilled water everywhere.
This poor basement loves water.
Damn basement. I get talking with my arms.
You do, yeah.
And then I just strategically put my water in the wrong place.
Do you want to pause?
Yeah, hold on. Let me go get some towels or something. God damn.